Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Rensa4 here, and welcome to a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. It's been a few months since I last did a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. The last one I actually made was for my Synchron Quasar deck, which was updated for the latest format. And this is basically my own version of a new archetype that just got recently released in the Secret Forces. And honestly, it is the cheapest deck to make outside of Emergency Talent, which is like $30 or $20 to $30 or whatever. However, this is relatively a very cheap deck to make, and it's one of the cheapest to make too. And the deck's called Ritual Beasts. If you don't know what this archetype is, think of it as Gladiator Beasts slash Infernities combined into one deck, where it relies on contact fusion, and then you return to the graveyard, and you can special summon some certain monsters to special summon cards. Oh god, my foot is asleep. Shit. but anyway, and oh god, my foot is tingling so freaking much. but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and go through the deck profile. I'm gonna put my side deck, extra deck over here. So let's go ahead and start off the deck profile. We're gonna start with the Tamers. I run 3 Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. He's pretty much, I think, the best of the Ritual Beast Tamers, because what his effect is that when you normal summon this card, you can normal summon from your hand to the field 1 Ritual Beast monster in addition to your normal summon. So you can normal summon one of the Spirit Beasts, or you can summon another Tamer depending on your situation. So you can normal summon, and that's pretty much the effect, is that all Ritual Beast Tamers have effects that activate when they are normal summoned. And there's a lot of cards that can use their normal summons, which I'll get to later. Then I run 2 Ritual Beast Tamer Wen. Very sorry about that, people. I just, you know why, but anyway. Ritual Beast Tamer Wen. This card has the effect is, when it's normal summon, you can target one of your banished Ritual Beast monsters, and you special summon it to your side of the field. And this is pretty much, she's also a really good Tamer, although the other 2 Tamers, this one and the second, are the one I'm going to show, is not as good as Elder, because I like this effect more because you're going to main deck Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos, because this card can let you search for one of them back and go for more extended plays. But there are times she's not very useful if you don't have Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos, which is why I won 2 Ritual Beast Tamer Lara, which is going to be an alternative answer for that, just in case if you, let's say for example you summon a Ritual Beast, but you don't have Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos, or they got destroyed by MST. Pretty much, you can use this card as an alternative answer, and there are times I feel this card is better than Wen, but only depending on the situation. But other than that, she's a very, very good Tamer. I will admit she's definitely one of the worst of the Tamers, but she can be really better than the others, depending on your situation. And that's the Tamers. For the Spiritual Beasts themselves, I won 3 Cannahawk. Because, well, you definitely need 3 Cannahawk. It's pretty much the Gold Sarc of the deck. Basically, once per turn, you can select 1 Ritual Beast card, and you banish them from play face up. And until your second standby phase, that Ritual Beast card is added to your hand. Now, this would normally make the card slow, but the reason this is really good monster for this is because it sets up your plays. If you summon, let's say for example you get Elder, and you get Cannahawk, what you then do is, you use their effects. And what's actually good due to the ruling of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is when you contact fuse out and you summon this guy again. Because I do want to mention, the restriction for these guys is all the Ritual Beast monsters can only be special summoned once per turn. So you have to remember who you special summoned. Now, this is good because every time you bring this card back either from the hand, the graveyard, or the bash zone, you can use this effect again. So it completely abuses this guy's effect continuously. So you can banish even more Ritual Beast monsters and Tamers to set up to go for even more pluses. It's a very, very good card, and it's definitely necessary to have this card at 3. Then I won 2 Ritual Beast, Spiritual Beast Apelio. I originally put this card at 3, but for what I tested, it's very difficult to get 3 on the field at once. I find 2 is the perfect number, but this guy's pretty good. He also sets up your Cannahawk plays and other combos late in the game, because he has a chain of ball effect where once per turn during either player's turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card, and I want to keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a monster, it can also be a spell trap that has Ritual Beast in its name. You bash it, and all your Ritual Beast cards gain fire and attack and defense. And the other thing about this effect I want to point out though is, this effect lasts for the whole turn. So, let's say for example you activate this guy's effect, then later in the game after you decide to, let's say for example, go for a certain combo for searching, even if you use emergency tele to bring back one of the Tamers, that Tamer her still gains the 500 attack and defense points that you used with Apelio's effect early in the game. Or earlier in the turn, I would say. Because it's really useful because if you want to go push for Ulti-K, you can summon Wind. If you manage to get Apelio's effect twice in the same turn, Wind becomes a 2,500 point beat stick. And that's really good because that turns him into 2,800 attacker, and that can help you get over lots of boss big guys on your opponent's field that normally your fusions wouldn't be able to get over. But this is really, really good and useful. And then I run 2 Spiritual Beast, Tamer, Pettlephin. I will personally agree with a lot of people. This is definitely one of the worst Spiritual Beasts. But this card actually, personally in my opinion, is actually pretty good against most decks. Because the effect is that you select one Ritual Beast card in your hand, and you banish them from play, and you target a card in your opponent's field and return back to hand. So it's pretty much the compulse of the deck. It's pretty much the compulsory evacuation device of the deck. It helps you get over, just like Apelio, it can pretty much help you get over lots of boss big guys on the field. It helps you get over those guys very easily. Okay, which is why I really like this card a lot. But the only reason I wanted 2 is that I think 2 would be the best number. Most people prefer 1, that's up to you, but I prefer 2, and I think it's the perfect number. And the same thing can be said about Spiritual Beast Rempengu. Rempengu, I honestly think, might get really good when the Crossover Soul set comes out. Because in Crossovers, we're supposed to get 2 new Tamers, which are Pendulum Monsters, and the new Ulti-Apelio Fusion Ritual Beast, which pretty much Herald of Perfection, by the way. And I think this is gonna make me bump this card to 3 because, 1, since the new Ritual Beast Fusion and the Tamers go the extra deck when they get destroyed, since the Pendulum Monsters, you can pretty much abuse this card's effect continuously as much as Cannahawk. Because if you don't know what this card does is, I'll explain the reason why. His effect is, you target one Ritual Beast card monster in your extra deck, you send it to the graveyard, then you send a Ritual Beast card that's the same type as that monster you banish from play. So for example, you could banish one of the Ritual Beast Tamer Pendulum monsters from your extra deck, since, well, let's be honest, when Pendulum monsters normally will go to the graveyard, they actually go to the extra deck instead. You can banish one of them and send a Tamer to the graveyard, which pretty much helps, because if you have Dimensional Fissure, you can set up your banish zone pretty much more consistently, which I think increases the consistency of this deck even more, because it makes this deck a whole lot more stronger. Good. But as of right now, I'm only going to run 2, and I think 2 is the perfect number right now. But once the new Fusion Tamers come out, because we honestly only have 3 Tamers and 4 different Spirit Beasts, I'm definitely going to bump this card to 3, because it's really going to be very much a better card. And to support the engine, I run 1 Genetic Sally Birdman, 1 Harpy Dancer. Honestly, we need a tuner because we have some synchros, and this card's very useful because we can abuse the Tamer's normal summon effects, and we can pretty much use this to go for rank 4 plays. And everyone 1 Tempest. Obviously, Tempest is necessary. It helps with your mana zone and pushes for Ulti-K potential. Now for spell cards, I am missing 2 emergency teleports. There are 2 spells I'm probably going to decide what to take out for, but I'm thinking about it. But to get to the spells, we run 3 Upstart Goblins. The reason I run 3 Upstart Goblins is that the one problem I have with the deck is that there are times it can be very inconsistent if you don't have the combos and pieces you need. So you need some cards to help get to your combo pieces as fast as possible, giving the deck slightly more speed, which is why I put 3 Upstarts. Despite the fact it's 1,000 life points you give to your opponent, it's very mandatory anyway, because I like it. But I like the card anyway, despite its 1,000 life points you give the opponent. Everyone, 3 MST, you obviously need this card, it's pretty much mandatory. Venice Emptiness, Imperial Iron Wall, and let me see, oh, and Skill Ring definitely can hurt this deck a lot. Even Mistake can hurt this deck so much. Since the deck uses so much searching, Mistake can really hurt the card. But I have some side deck options for those cards too. But we'll get to that later. 1 Ritual Beast Spawn. The reason most people usually run 2. As of right now, I'm only going to run this card in 1. But once the new Ritual Beast support comes out, I'm going to bump this card to 2. Because the effect is actually pretty decent. You target 2 face of Ritual Beast cards, monsters on your side of the field. You banish them from play, and then you special summon Ritual Beast from your extra deck and ignore its summon conditions. So you can definitely use this to special on Ulti-Apelio. Only problem is, when you special on Ulti-Apelio this way, you can't activate this effect. So you're mostly going to be using this for Ulti-Ks. But the other reason I may want this at 2 is because with Pettlephin and other card effects, I can simply abuse Ulti-Apelio's effect by banishing one of the 2 copies of this card. just so, and then I can save this one for an OTK, the other copy for an OTK later in the game. So it's pretty much a really good card. But as of right now, I'm only sticking with one because I'm only gonna be sticking with one copy of this card. I'm sorry about that, people. And for staples, I want one Foolish Burial. Obviously, it's mostly to get rid of any monster plus Tempest. Then I want one Gold Sarc, pretty much mandatory card. One Dimensional, one Snatch Steal. Pretty much, I can't refuse this card. I love Snatch Steal. I just love this card so much. It was definitely one of my favorite spells when I was a kid. But then again, back as a kid, I never knew there was a tournament scene for the game. Anyway, one Divine Wind. This is the reason I have Gen Exilic Burrow and Harpy Dancer. I can return the Tamers. Use this card's effect, special summon Apelio. Use its effect, banish, and then I can go for tons of plays from there and get some giant beat sticks. It's a really good card. It is better than Harpy Ladies and also Yasandras, but I think it's really good with Spiritual Beasts of Fury. And the final staple, I want one Dimensional Fissure. It is a main card. Unlike most decks that side deck this card, this deck completely main deck this. And this card hurts so many of the meta decks. It hurts Burning Abyss, it hurts Necloths, it hurts almost every deck in the meta, making it a really good anti-meta deck. For traps, I do want a trap heavy deck, unlike some people who barely want traps. I want 3 Ritual Beast Steeds. This is an amazingly good trap card. You have to win this at 3. Because here's the thing, this trap, the reason why this trap makes the deck super good is because this trap does not target any monsters. You basically just destroy monsters up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you control, and they have to be face up. And this is really good card to use because number one, it's good against Necross Attrition because Necross Attrition has the hand trap effect where you discard it to negate the activation of a card effect that would otherwise target a cloth monster, and you destroy it. But this trap does not target the card, so you could basically destroy their Unicorn or you could destroy the Grimlocked monster. The only monster that can really hurt this card, that can stop this card, is Gungnir. But if you have another one to field, you could chain Response. That will go first, and then the Gungnir's effect, but the Necross monster is gone on the field already. So it's really good trap. I highly recommend you run this at 3. That one. 2 Ritual Beast Ambush, but I am thinking of putting this trap to 3 because this trap's just amazingly good trap. It's just way too good to pass up. I'm definitely thinking of running this card at 3. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about that right now because I've been doing pretty good success with just only 2, but I think maybe 3 might make this deck a lot better because this trap's just amazingly good. Basically, when you activate this trap, you target 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast monster from either your banished zone or your graveyard, and you special summon into the field, which is a good alternative answer because if you have no other Ritual Beast Tamer or Spiritual Beast monster banished zone, you can pretty much use this trap, bring back some of them, and pretty much if you can survive a turn, you pretty much have a fusion, a Tamer, and a Spiritual Beast, which means with Ulti-Apelio, it's pretty much super easy to get out in this deck just because of this trap alone. Which is why that when that card comes out, I'm definitely going to bump this card to 3 because it's such amazingly good. Then I run 2 Break the Skull. I will admit that Phoenix Chain would have been a better card to use, but I like this trap a bit more because I can at least use it to effect 3 times. Plus, the problem with Phoenix Chain is that, one, it's a little slow. It is a continuous trap, so once they destroy Phoenix Chain, their monster gains back their effect. There's no other way to negate it. This is why I like Breakthrough Skill a little bit more, just because of that alone. But if they chain it, I can at least activate this later in the game. And for Saber Traps, I want 1 Bombs, 1 Macrocosmos. It's just like Dimensional Fissure. You need Macrocosmos because it hurts every deck in the game. For Fusions, I want 3 Ulti-Cannahawk, which is pretty much the searcher of the deck. There's so many combos you can do with this guy. You target 2 banished Ritual Beast cards, you return the graveyard, and if any of them go to the graveyard, even if just one of them goes to the graveyard, you can search for a Ritual Beast card. Plus, with their chain effects, during either place turn, you can return this card to extra deck, target a banished Tamer, and Ritual Beast card, and you special summon to the field. It's really good. Then I won 2 Ulti-Apelio, which is another good card. The only thing I don't like about this card is that when it attacks, it becomes unaffected by the card effects, which is not bad, don't get me wrong. But if you use regular Apelio's effect, when this card attacks, he loses that 500 attack points, so which really sucks. But he's really good beat stick, but I do wish he was a little better. Then I won 2 Ulti-Pettlephin. I personally think you may as well only run 2. I think 1 is too short, 3 is too clogged, but 2 Pettlephin I think is good. This card is actually really good against Shaddolls because this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So against El Shaddol Construct cannot get over this card completely. It just cannot. For Synchros, I only won 3 Synchros in this deck. I won 1 Star Eater, one Samsara.